This is Daf Yerushalmi Shabbos, and the article for this one at the top of Daf Ayin Amud Aleph, the second line, Imanida, and in the Vilna, it's on Daf Nun Zayin Aleph, the eighth line after the Mishnah, the first Mishnah Allah Aleph, eighth line beginning from the beginning of the Gemara. It's in the Gemara. It says, Imanida Matame. Imanida Matame Be'evem Masame. It's an interesting tumah by Nida. The Nida is the time ever Masami come explains Evan Shismu Gabi say this with Kalim Gabi say this with Kalim Tachter. He put a stone on top of pegs and he put Kalim underneath the stone. You see Vitesa Eben Chada Vesumas Apum Guva. This is I forget from which Tanakh. It's a quote. Daniel. Daniel above Yurches. And Nidazav Yoshim Aleh, Nidazav Sinanin, Abishlich Bila came, even though they don't convey the weight to the Kalim, Abishlich the Tmeim, the Tmeim came, the Kalim Atome. See, Gabi Zov, Kosher Tachtov Itmo, like it says, by Zov, anything underneath him is Matame, so to have Masame, special aloha, that's Matame, the Kalim underneath it. So let's say, Af Akum Matame Gabi Evan HaMasame, so to be put on Abu Dazar on top of Evan Masame Shimatame, Rabbi Zrika and B'Shem Rabbi Yehuda B'Istam B'Shem Rabbi Chista, they said, one of them said, Moda Rabbi Akiva Chachamim, well, Akiva could see the Chachamim, She'en Akum Matame Gabi Evan Masame. It's but the Zohar is not Matami like Evan Masame, despite the connection made to Nida. Now that's Rabbi Akiva. Rabban hold that Avodah Zohar is linked to Sheretz. Rabban made the Toiva Shebashratz Muksha. The word Toiva by Avodah Zohar is linked to the word Toiva Shratzim. Huksha my Sheretz Matami Beheset, just like a Sheretz. It says Matami when you move it. Af Akum Matami Beheset. So to Avodah Zohar is Matami when you move it. Now, the Pnei Moshe says, Klomar b'maga, when you touch it, not when you move it. Derech hashas l'ishtamish v'shini loshon, kala maga heset al shem, shatas yad l'negia. Even though heset does not necessarily mean you touch it. You move it, even by a stick. Says the Pnei Moshe, not here. And Yerushalmi heset can also mean maga, because you mush it, you move it by pushing with your hand. The Russian shall be Shoinim, however, changed the gear, so it changes to Masheretz Ein Matame Be'esed, Av Akum Ein Matame Be'esed. In other words, you have to, the same idea, you have to touch it. Moving it with a stick is not going to be Tame. So ask the Gemara, Ima Sheretz Matame Be'kadosha, so Sheretz is Matame the size of a lentil, Av Akum Matame Be'kadosha, so too, for Tzorshim is Matame the size of a lentil. Rabbi Zira, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yitzchak, Rabbi Nachman, Shem Rabbi Lesser, for Shem Rabbi Yehuda said, no, because the linkage made between Avodah Zarah and the eating the dead carcasses. So the since that linkage is made between the Baal Porah, Avodah Zarah, and dead carcasses, my mason time kazayis just like mason metame by kazayis af akum time kazayis. So too a Avodah Zarah's metame specifically with a kazayis. So it says more my mace ad shiyachlis rosh etzba'o the Pnei Moshe changed it to Roshei Etzba'o v'chulei, and Pnei Moshe says Hagi Garsa B'Zor Sham v'Yersinach v'Yah Loshen works out easier. Klar meaning Sharei Meis Mitame Shiach Nisodam Rosh Etzba'o Labais Asher Meis Tocho. Find to Mas Oel. So the mace is a person is a metame when he puts his fingers into the heads, the tips of the fingers into the house, which is a mace. That's too much. Oh well. The ain't so shachnis rosh rubel has to put his head and most of his torso there. So alpha avodah zara. So the zara mishachnis rosh etzba'o should be when you put in the tips of your finger. Vanakam avodah zara metame bebia. We believe Avodah Zarah is matame when you come into the room with it, but actually needs rosho veruba, only to put in your head and the majority of your torso. Very good. Behedia, it says explicitly. because machnis rosha rule based on what is our if you put your head and majority of your torso in. So that's what we're asking. Imam said shiachnis rosha etzbo. I missed the change of this. It's not the emphasis is not on Russia Etzbo. Emphasis on instead of ad shiachnis, it's mishiachnis. Yeah, ima makes mishiachnis Russia Etzbo. Rosh Etzbo. That doesn't really matter. Af akum mishiachnis Rosh Etzbo. The moment you put in your fingertips, even in put the Rosh Baruba, but we know it's not like that. So it's more known. The titza we buy some nuga. There's a Gzer Shova, the Titza and the Titza. It says by Avodah Zarah, Moshe brings down the Tats Temes means B'chol Som, and by Bayis Nuga it says not Tats, it's a Bayis to destroy the house. The altars destroy the houses. So just like Ma Bayis Nuga Chachnis Rosh Verubo, so you put in the hand of majority of your torso, and Af Akum Achi Achnis Rosho Verubo, so you put in the hand of majority of your torso. Aber Rabbi China Zos Omeres She'ein Tumas Akum Mechuveres. This teaches us that Tumas Akum is not Mechuveres, meaning it's not Midaraisa. Mechuveres often the Yerushalmi means it's not clear, means it's not Daraisa, but rather about it. So located, if not, if it was Daraisa, Mekishla Kalim and Kishla Chamurim, why would you draw a linkage to leniency and say to Rosh Verubo, not to stringency and say when you put in Rosh Etzbo? So Amra Mona said no mechuveresi. It is mechuver. V'lo mekisha lemeis l'sheretz. But the thing is, there are multiple linkages here. Toeva, right? And you have other linkages as well. So why are there multiple linkages? L'lamed mehem l'kalin shaba. To tell us that you show the multiple linkages and commonalities. Now you always go by most lenient among the possibilities. Says Gemara, yes, but that Amar Bakum Shvura. That's by a broken Avodah Zarah. But by Shlema feel koshu. If it's a whole Avodah Zarah, it's a whole idol. Even if it's teeny tiny, it's still going to be matame. So it has no shear. Not a kazais, not a adosha, not anything, even a speck. It's worshiping a speck. The Rabbi Huna said, Rabbi Chama Bar Guya Mishem Rav said, Habal Rosh Kiviyah. The Baal was the top of an male organ. Not even the whole organ, just the top of the male organ. Nafun haya. So if you take a look at Shas here, I carbon Ada v'nidchak. I would say v'ka'afun haya, like a pea. Katanki garin shafunim. It was small, like the size of pea. The shleimim afilu b'koshu. If it's whole, no matter the size of a pea, it is mitame. As it says, so Simlan Babris Elohim. The Babris was their God. Then it's made, and we learn, says Korbaneda, Avodah Kibris. The bris means like the top of the organ, the place where the bris is, but even the size of a pea, it's mitame. Should point out that according to the Gemara's Girsa, as is in front of us, the Thal Girsa has changed. Korbaneda says, Nafuna yakami niufaya kigichni skasha shekach nikra baal. Karminim miflatzta shasta mifletzes la'akum v'rosh hagbiya shein machzik kazai. So it was supposed to be like the erect organ, and that's the idea, like a noef, right? Language of nifa. Okay. My time is Rabbi Akiva. So what's the derivation of Akiva? Where's Rabbi Akiva? Since you have a choice of learning the Ol Say Toeva, Nida, Sheretz, Avodah Zarah, why does Rabbi Akiva prefer to learn from Nida? So Ta'ev to Tavenu, Kinida. He learns from that. The Korban says, "But Tiyuva Gadol Shebekul, the most repugnant rejection by Nida. Pavagav Dichsi Nami Gabi Sheretz Tiyuv. It says Toeva by Sheretz as well. Filchem Damila Nida to Masa Gedola Mishal Sheretz, which is more severe tumor than Sheretz. My time of the Rabbanon. What's the logical Rabbanon? Learn from Sheretz and not from Nida. Shaketz to Shaksenu Kishrotzim. It says Shaketz to Shaksenu, and the lashon of Sheketz is like Sheretz. So therefore, since they learn, I guess the Rabbi Kiva learns from the act of repugnance, and Rabbanon learned from the word similarity of Sheketz and like Sheretz. And it's very similar to Machlokes Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Shmuel having of Shas Dibur Torah L'Shem Yodam and not Dibur Torah L'Shem Yodam. The Rabbi Kiva, but I'm not sure actually similar to that. But maybe you would say that Rabbi Kiva here it says we darshan everything. We don't see Dibur. Maybe not. Never mind. I think I'll take that back. Scratch that from the record. Gemara says, okay, fine. But now why they reject the alternative derivations? What did Rabbanan do with the pasuk Rabbi Kiva? How do they interpret that pasuk if they're not learning it as an indication derived from Nida? Why learn Tavenu to mean what's going to teach us? So the Gemara says, "Tza'eu na bleu," go out and defame it. As the Gemara is going to say, we make a mockery. So you're not allowed to be mislotzates about anything, make a scoff at anything except Avodah Zarah. Okay, so what does Akiva do with the language of Shaketz Shaksenu, which Rabbanan use? Shaketz Shaksenu, Shakseu Navleu. So they learned that it means that also similar idea. Shakseu, make it like separate, right? Like a sheket, something which is disgusting, right? Like we in the Yiddish talk about shagets, right? Which is that word. So that is shakteu. So they're both using really the alternative word the same way to learn that there's a special type of denigration which is by Avodah Zarah. The Mahain Rabbanan Navleu. What is that? It says in Minayin. It changes to Mahain, and so the I'm not sure why it's really the question according to Rabbanan. Right? Karmei says according to Rabbanan because according to Rabbi Akiva, it can mean that you denigrate it as like a nida, but that's very intangible. So I'm not sure if civilly means Rabbanan. I guess the he brings down here in the article that the question asked specifically according to Rabbanan because Kari Akiva is from Shaketz Saksenu. Shikutz is obviously talking about speech. But according to Rabbanan, who said it's Tza'eu Nableu, so we need a better derivation. How do you know it's Tza'eu Nableu? How does the notion of Tza'eu indicate denigration of speech? Okay. Shmuel Rabbi Yoshem Rabbi Yoel said Tzei Tomarlo. They learned Tza'eu. The language they learn is like Tzei Tomarlo, which literally means tell it to go out. But here we also darshan here Tzoa Tomarlo Torlo to say about it it's excrement. Tza'eu Navleu. So how do you do the Tza'eu Navleu? Make it like excrement. And Shekorin also Pnei Melech, if it's called, that was be called the face of the king. Korin also Pnei Kelev, we call it the face of a dog. Ein coats the eye of a cup. Ein coats the eye of a thorn. Gadya, which means language of Mazel, like God in the Torah. Galia, like the notion of exile, which should be tossed away. And the Chum Shem said, "Ha'ai asherim base oven mikedim lebase el." So the eye, which was the passing Yeshua eye, which was with base oven, which is literally means eastward of base el. But the way he does it, mikedem originally according to base el, they used to call base el, but now became place of Avodah Zarah. So according to base oven, the place of iniquity. Tani Shem Rabbi Lezer lo ratzah likaros. Now is changing gears here from the Yalkut. The Yalkut says, brought down in the Kina Shas here in the Yerushalmi Shabbos as well, that it's supposed to say, let's go to Amallah, Ayin Mem Lam Av, currently so Amirah. And Rabbi Abba Bar Kahana said, Amar Taman in Bavel, the Korean Lepala Tava, they call a good work Amala. So therefore it's a good name, a positive name. We don't really use it. So it's interesting what exactly that means. Pala Tava is means actually wages. Or we know Amala also means in modern Hebrew commission, a commission which you make, or it's some sort of payment, and evidently it's a positive thing, some sort, or some profitable thing, and there's a discussion here in the Yerushalmi Shabbos of it, and the main thing is that they would call it Amira instead. So let's read it inside. Time Shem Lezer, let's say Kroso so Amalok, so Amira. Tamra Barkana, Tam and Safkin, the Pala Tava. There they call good work or good could be good wages of work. So profitable Amalah. It's having the Chutz Shemei Raglaim, and they call a chutz, the vessel in which you need to wash out, in which you put which you urinate like like the jug in which they used to urinate, Amira. Okay, Mama can write Akiva, say Tomar Lo. So what does Akiva do is this drasha, say Tomar Lo, which we'll learn from that pasuk in Yeshaya. So not specifically, obviously, like I'm concerned with Avodah Zarah. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Bun, Rabbi Huna, Rabbi Shem, Rabbi Yossi said, "Kancha Emilot Emilot say Achiachnis Rosho Verubo." I guess it is specifically Avodah Zarah. Is what's the full pasuk? I don't know why I said that. Pasuk is said about Avodah Zarah. It says, "Timesim sipui pesilei kaspecha," should be when they're tamei, that which you use to cover your idols of silver, ves afidas masecha zavecha, and the apron of the cover of your idol of gold. Tizareim, you should make them repugnant, flow them out. Kamo dava, like Anida, Tsei Tomar Lo. So it's Avodah Zarah. So what is the reference? So Makai Reiki would say Tomar Lo, contrary to them say Achiachnis Rosho Verubo. So he says that you don't tell a person go out. In other words, the person not mitami tumas Avodah Zarah until you go with the heading majority of your torso, like we said, not just the heads of your fingers, but the heading majority of your torso into the house. There's a brisa which says that the Avodah Zarah itself and the things which are service to Avodah Zarah, the kalim which you use for Avodah Zarah, are like nida. But he says the brisa says the agum kinida, Avodah Zarah tuma is like nida, misham shea, and the kalim are like a sheretz. Man agum nida misham shea kinida nicha. Okay, so I understand that the opinion which holds the Avodah Zarah and those things which serve Avodah Zarah like nida. Okay, man agum nida misham shea sheretz. So how could that be? Kol atzmo enksiv nida ella b'mishamshin. That pasuk we just learned, reference in Yeshaya, the Avodah Zarah, the idea that it's like a nida, it's tzoi b'mishamshin Avodah Zarah, because it says there, "B'timeisem es sipui pesilei kaspecha." The tzipuyim, the things which serve it, the plating on it. And the apron, which is on the Avodah Zarah. So it's the kalim which are served Avodah Zarah. It's not the Avodah Zarah itself. Says the Gemara, no, it's talking about if you hold that the misham shem like sheretz, those are ones which are engraved into the idol itself. They're not sitting on top of the idol. Rabbi Yaakov the Kvarchanan might tipate mishtach ve'lefil atzmo. So we bow down to the apron itself. But we have precedent for that, unfortunately. In Tanakh, in Yoshem Rabbi also Gidon the ephod. Gidon made an ephod for himself, which eventually became Avodah Zarah. Eventually, people started worshiping that ephod. So the have Mishnah which says that Avodah Zarah and Mishnah are both like Nida. The Korban just says that Bitinan Ditzinan, which we can learn Avon of the eights of one of the eights of the firm Tamim Kisheretz. So that's I think only part of the Mishnah. Yes, the Mishnah says that about a wall which was built between the house of a Jew and Beis Avodah Zarah that fell. In other words, when you touch them, in other words, whether you touch them or whether you carry them. So now that this wall, which is the wall of the house in which Avodah Zarah is worshipped, it's Mishamish Avodah Zarah. Nevertheless, the Mishnah says, according to Akiva, Avon Eitzav Aforim Etami B'Masu Kanida. So it's difficult on the opinion which you said before that according to Rabbi Akiva, even though Avodah Zarah itself is like Nida, the Mishamshim are like Sheretz. It seems like both are like they're both like Nida. So Gemara says no, not necessarily. It could be that Korban says Shabbai Akum, that the house itself, where people worship the structure, and then you built your house next to it. So now the wall fell down. So the stones which were part of the house of Avodah Zarah, since it wasn't just the house in which Avodah Zarah was worshipped, the house itself was worshipped. They themselves are matame like Nida because they're actually Avodah Zarah. Only like Sheretz, even according to Akiva. This house was actually worshipped. Okay, so next question and answer. The Korban Ada says it's not doesn't appear in this parallel sugya, but here it does appear. So we'll try learning it the way he learns it, even though he says it's probably better just to take it out. So the Gemara says, "V'at nina shlosha batim heim." There are three batim. So the Korban Ada says, "Echad mehem." One of them is sido v'kido l'shem avodah akum. You plastered it and decorated for the purpose of Avodah Zarah, v'chidesh, and you added into it new aspects. Nota mashachidesh, you take away whatever you mechadesh. This chidush is mishamshin. If you look at Metami Kanida, then it is Metami Kanida. The Besefer Dach Masitza El, the Amray Bekiva Kanida, Misnayach Masitza Shlosh Batim. This mission of three Batim, including Sida Bechido, which seems to be Mishamshim, it says Metami like Nida. So the Gemara says, Tipata Shishtach Levayz V'chaka Chicho. Meaning, the Korban says, Pe Shishtach V'tchilo L'mashachidish. You bow down to whatever you knew. I guess you took this ornament which you're going to put on, you bowed down to it, and then you put it into the building. He says, "Kushi Pirko the Chukim Meseres Avodah Zarah Lo Garsinala." Okay, Dom Rabbi Zira B'Shem Rav Mishtach L'Bayis Hasro. Somebody bows down to the house, houses it. This applies to what we said previously, and also evidently to this. If you're a Gori, said that the part you add on also. Rabbi Zira Rabbi Avoshem Yoel said, "Hamakdish is a Bayis Molimbo." Somebody who makes a house hekdesh. So Molimbo, the read Baz and Karmei both change it to Ein Molimbo. So Gemara wanted to make the sugyas contingent on each other. Rabbi Zira says to have a Rabbanon pliga. So the Rabbanon analyzed this, and they said it's a machlekes. And Mandamar Asaro, he who says that if you bow down to the house, you aser it. So then, Marlimbo. But here to let's see. Masora Mishtava by so someone nami the Marlimbo came to Tolush Marlimbo nami. So not Marlimbo Muchabel Karka. But if you can ask for a house, it must be because there was tfisas yad adam, because the human being was involved in creating it. So therefore, there's also how you can have meila. because it says Fisi Aronim, so everything will be Mila as well. Mandamar Lo, we come to further. Mandamar Aim Olimbo, Lo Asaro. Mandamar holds the Aim Olimbo because it's Mechubel Karka. As we learn out, Elohim, 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 Elohim. They're gods on the mountains of Asr, not the mountains which are their gods. They can't become Asr. Hachanami Lo so the Hachanami Lo Yisrael Imishtachavelo. So the person who hold Emolim Bo, because Karpa also you can't answer it if you worship it. Okay, the Gemara is going to go on and discuss this further, but we're already on the next Amud, so we'll stop here for today.